Hi there, this is Mike Ram of Weightloss and Personal Development, and I wanted to talk to you today about something that you may resonate with if you're overweight, because the world doesn't really see how we feel about things, not unless we're really pressed to show them. The likely time when we do is when we are pushed to, or driven, or ready made just to react. And we will allow others then to see what our state of mind is. But most of the time we live as closed books, except to those who know us well, understand our aspirations and our fears. So obviously, when I was overweight, people used to comment on this and think they were being frightfully clever or very witty. And they never seemed to think that I wasn't okay with my state of being overweight. I was lumped in with the fat people and spoken to accordingly, without thought of who I really was, which was tedious. And maybe you've experienced the same. And I remember well thinking to myself, feeling aggrieved that this was so. I'm a thin person, inside, trying to get out. It annoyed me, irritated and hurt me, but that people could not see who I was, even though I was 17 stone at the time. So it's hardly surprising. And I was classed as somebody who would be likely to have a Big Mac and fries for a snack, or somebody even patted me on the belly and asked me when I was due. You know, it was quite ghastly, really. And basically, when I found the way that I was to use to lose weight, having gone through all that, I didn't linger too long in being fat. I just went for it. I treated it almost like it was a religious quest. You know, I just focused and put my head down almost and lost the weight. And approached it like it was an all-consuming passion, because I just wanted to get away from that space of not being able to represent who I was. You see, my main problem with the comments were, although there was nothing that drastically rude or unpleasant in them, they were a bit funny, liable to sort of make me sit up and take notice. The thing that really annoyed me about it was that just the fact that I wasn't able to represent myself properly, which if you're overweight and not feeling that great and feeling depressed about it and everything, then the chances are that you don't feel that you're representing yourself properly. And most of us actually like to be who we think we are. That's what we really desire in life, to be on the outside, in tune with who we think we are on the inside. And a lot of our lives may be spent in actually trying to equalize those two states of being. Because people don't see who we are on the inside, and they may talk to us, but they don't really know what our hopes and aspirations are, whether we desire to become very, very wealthy, or who we really desire to be with as a partner, or what we feel are our shortcomings and how we desire to make up for them. And obviously being overweight is a fairly obvious state of discomfort, although obviously not everybody is. Some people are perfectly happy being overweight and feel that they are this person that's overweight, but an awful lot of people don't, and it's quite depressing. And obviously when you lose the weight, you lose the depression, you lose the lack of confidence, you become more attractive to a partner, you become more marketable almost, because you've done the trick. You've achieved a sort of alchemy on yourself. You've turned yourself from the base metal of being overweight to being slim, probably toned, and much fitter and great looking. And you can walk down the beach without having to feel totally embarrassed. And that's really a great thing. And I wanted to say sort of furthermore, most people who are overweight in the West are suffering from a form of malnutrition, so that their bodies aren't functioning properly. Now, most of the time when we think of malnutrition, we think of those starving people in places like Somalia and the war zones of Syria and Yemen. and various other places where people suffer from an incredible privation. Now, I'm not going to take the mickey out of that, because they're in awful situations, and one's heart goes out to them. But this first world malnutrition, it's a completely opposite phenomenon. The people aren't thin, they're waddling along, looking like bouncy balls, and basically suffering from having too much collagen, and puffed up and bloated, and they look unattractive in a different way. They're not about to starve, but they could have a quick heart attack or something. And that's a form of malnutrition which is down to the sort of diet that they follow. Now, very often people who are overweight eat poor diets. It's a fact. Fast food and instant meals put paid to any semblance of proper nutrition. Eating a month's worth of pot noodles, I can't think would do anybody any good. And the fact of the matter is that Western diets are fairly variable in their intake, and some of them aren't very good. Eating hot dogs, one would be enough for me, and I'd never want one again. But some people exist on a diet of them, or buckets of Kentucky Fried. Drastic. Those things are full of bad oil. And one of the things about losing weight, if you follow a proper program like the Way to You weight loss program, which is the one I advertise, is that you get not only to eat in the sort of right quantities to take weight off, but you also eat the right sort of food to get yourself the proper nutrition your body requires. And I can assure you that having a proper nourished body, eating the right quantities of the right sort of foods, is a big difference from living on a diet of pizzas and hamburgers and hot dogs and Kentucky Fried and eating chips out of packets and other greasy foods and drinking lots of soda. It's a far cry from that. Having fruit, vegetables, proper oils, a decent amount of protein, eating less carbohydrates, having food in the proper proportions makes all the difference, because that means that your body is getting the right sort of fuel into it so that it can work better. And it does feel as if it's working better when you do, because you can then become a much more efficient body, because you're getting the right sort of food and your body sort of follows suit. So not only do you lose the weight, but you also get the proper nutrition that you need, and therefore you become a much more functional, proper functioning human being. Anyway, that's the Way to You weight loss program, which I will leave a link for on this page, and you can have a look at that so that you can see if that would suit you to get the best nutrition you possibly can. And I'd also appreciate a subscribe or a like if you like this video, and I hope you found it interesting. Anyway, get properly nourished and lose the weight and develop yourself as a person. Bye for now. See you on the next call. Thank you.